Yo, what's up, everyone? It's your boy Jack Oates the GOAT. You either know or you don't. Thank you guys for tuning in today. This is just a random thought. If I were writing this series, it's like a Jack Clover, I guess. If I were writing this specific part with this battle and the captains are losing, and we have specific mages that are keeping things going for us, I think this is an option that I would consider while writing this part. So, key characters for this theory, we have Lolopechka, Rill, Charmy, maybe Mimosa, maybe Noct, and Dorothy. These are the main players that is gonna make this work, and probably even Sekre. So check this out. I want to start from the inside and go out. So with Rill's Twilight of Valhalla, we know that it gives anyone that he attaches to it essentially a buff, and they cannot die no matter what their wound is until the spell is over. Now, the only fault to the spell is that this is completely dependent on how much mana Rill is able to put into it, and at some point it's gonna have to come down due to him running out of mana. Now, the way to override this and make this a perfect spell is to add Charmy into the mix, where she can keep feeding him and he can keep the spell going for longer and longer. Along with Charmy being there, she'd be able to heal any of the mages that are in there fighting Lucifero himself, as well as supply them with more mana. To get Mimosa into the mix as well would be pretty clutch. I don't think she's needed if Charmy's there, but it would definitely speed up the healing process. And since we've seen her literally heal life force, like all the life force into someone, imagine if she gets boosted within the Twilight of Valhalla like this. I mean, this would be a completely broken spell and self-sufficient. Now, to bring even more power into this spell, we have Lolopechka set up a Monozone. Now, it doesn't have to be as big as the Spade Kingdom, but we know she can do a large span of land. So any good large span would be awesome for her to put up a Monozone, and that way she can use it as a barrier. Now we have to go back to when they were first trying to enter the Heart Kingdom. What this Monozone did was kind of disorient whoever's coming in, and whoever wanted to come in had to be allowed in by Undine and Lolopechka themselves. If not, they would just be kept wandering around in circles and circles. So what this does is kind of act in reverse, where no one can leave this spell, and all it will do is disorient them and keep them going in circles, but they will never be able to leave the spell. Now, I don't think something like that's going to be able to trump Lucifero by itself, so to add on to it, we might have to put in like a ceiling stipulation there, maybe even using Zora, but definitely using Sekre to put some sort of seal on this Monozone to make it look like a bigger version of what Sekre tried to do to Vonica and Magicula back when the heart was being invaded. So this kind of gives us a real-time seal and a real-time Valhalla, where they can fight and feast forever, and this is mainly just so that they can bide their time to be able to actually defeat Lucifer at some point, or Lucifero at some point, or just to keep him there forever and everyone's fighting forever. Now, I like the idea of this just because it's a different kind of stake. The captains that are trapped within this won't die, but they're forced to fight and struggle and get injured every single day until they're able to somehow seal him away without, this, conjunction of spells happening. But, in the back of everyone's mind, throughout whatever arcs come, they're going to know that there are captains that have had no breaks in fighting this guy who's astronomically powerful, for the better part of forever, or until they can figure out something else to liberate them from this. But I do think it's a cool idea like I said, because it gives us a real-time Valhalla. Now, I want to include Dorothy and Noct in this, where we already have the seal up, but now to get Dorothy to send this whole thing to another dimension entirely, into her dream world, would be so epic, so that Valhalla is actually on a different plane now. And then on top of Dorothy's magic, it would kind of be cool if they can layer that space also within the that seal of atonement Noct tried to put Lilith and Nama in, and I think it really fits Noct's character arc, because he's damned. There's really no atonement he can do for himself except for what he tried to do with Lilith and Nama. That was pretty much his way out. So for him to jump in on this, I think would fit his character a lot. But those are the key players: Lolopechka, Rill, Dorothy, Noct, and who else did I mention? Sakurai and Mimosa. So if all those people are there with all of the captains, maybe except for Charlotte, then this could be really cool. And just imagine in an instance where, like, in the future, they're able to get the captains out of there somehow. They come back as complete monsters because they've been fighting for days on end for a very long time against Lucifero. And they're just, like I said, complete beasts. They would be on Squad 0 timing as far as, like, Bleach goes, except hopefully they don't die instantly like they did in Bleach. But really cool idea to kind of play around with. Now, to add just, like, for fun characters to bring in on this, I don't see Gaja leaving Lolopechka to this fate, so he would be there to protect her, to make sure the Monozone stays up, and also Luck. And I want to bring these two up, not just because they're really, really strong, and but but Luck loves to fight, right? He's the berserker. But Gaja and Luck particularly should have an edge against gravity magic, because lightning balls specifically in real life seem to defy the laws of physics and gravity. But electricity in and of itself, the mass is so minuscule that it has almost zero effect. Gravity has almost zero effect on it. So they should have a pretty good edge in this fight, and to add them to this would be so cool. Especially with Luck in there, he just loves the fight, and this is just a big training opportunity for him. This is fighting the strongest guy forever with no stakes at all, and with the hope of somehow, some way coming out of it at some point. And he would just be an absolute monster if that ever happened. But you have guys like Jack and Mario Leona in there who love to fight. I see Monozone and Fuegoleon definitely staying behind, because those guys are, pretty altruistic. And that's just the Wizard King mindset, so they would have to stay. I don't want Charlotte there, because I don't think she has anything really that would help in that battle against Lucifero. Maybe just protecting someone else, but I would rather her not be there. I'd rather her care for, be there for a Yami who is not himself anymore. And then it would be nice to have, a captain that was there to tell the accounts of, what happened. But yeah, that's kind of my thought. I think it'd be really cool to have this Monozone prison. Just sounds super cool to me. But if we don't have that, I would definitely love the idea of Lucifero getting sealed with the inner grimoire. And Asa's grimoire is my number 1. In Yuno's grimoire is my number 2. And in Pachi's grimoire is my number 3. So, it'd be complete left field if it goes into, like, Mimosa's grimoire. We don't know if it's a 4-leaf or not. I guess it might be. I would rather wait for some clarifications, but it did look like a 4th, so we just gotta wait and see. But anyway, that's the idea. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's been Jack Goes to the Goat. You guys stay safe, stay out the way. You either know or you don't.